You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite.
Welcome to Analog Jones in the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt.
And we're a VHS podcast that looks at the box art, trailers, and behind the scenes. And this week is number 3 in Matt's Noirch.
That's right, Noir March. We are taking a look this week at Copycat.
What turns on a killer is the suffering and death of another human being. And as his determination builds to take another life, he plans in obsessive detail what props he'll bring, what knots he'll tie. Let me ask you guys something. What turns you on?
A criminal psychiatrist.
There's a serial killer out there who strangled 3 women. He's gonna do it again.
A homicide detective.
Would you work with us on this?
You're kidding, right?
I do not want you discussing this case with her in any shape, way, or form.
It's the Boston Strangler.
You telling me this guy's copycatting a serial killer's been dead for
20 years.
You're looking for an intelligent white male, 20 to 30 years old, socially functional.
Everything's different. Different guy.
He's switched from DeSalvo to Bianchi and Buono, the hillside strangler.
One man is copying the most notorious killers in history, one at a time.
He's sending you letters like he's daring us to nail him.
If he wants to be famous, he has to be caught.
I'm death and life to you, Doc.
We know that Mr. Cullum was safe in San Quentin last night, so how come his book shows up under the mattress?
Together, 2 women must stop him
The man who has killed 5 women in this city was just in your apartment.
before he kills again.
All I know to do is change your locks, tighten up your security, and pray.
Sigourney Weaver, Holly Hunter, and Harry Connick Jr. in a deadly game of cat
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
and mouse. Copycat.
That's a great trailer.
It is. It's a great... It doesn't give anything away, but you're hooked and you want to see the movie. Like, I'll watch it again. Shit.
Tells you just enough where someone is copying all the great serial killers of the past. I wouldn't say great. They're actually horrible, but
Well, all the famous.
famous, yeah.
It's a fame thing with this, yeah.
I'm not obsessed with serial killers.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with these kind of movies, but they're fake. You know, like these aren't real. Like,
Yeah.
I love detective movies, but I don't like real life stuff. I'm not the person that watches the crime documentaries on Netflix. I don't care. It doesn't do anything for me.
No, they
It's
gross.
boring.
I don't like real serial killers. I love fake ones.
Yeah. I love movies about serial killers that mostly tend to be fake. So,
But I want all my violence to be made up.
yes. I'm not a true crime guy.
No, me neither. So we got that in common. You know what else we have in common? We both like Copycat.
Yeah, so this was the first time you had seen this?
Definitely, yes.
This is only the second time I had seen this movie, much like the movie we talked about last week. Yeah, this was only the second time I had seen it, but I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, I'm not a big thriller guy. I haven't seen a lot. I've seen the bigger ones, you know, a lot of the ones that people talk about. This one should be talked about more. I'm surprised it's not.
Yeah, I watch a lot of thrillers. I am I have my horror fan thing, but I think my side thing that I've seen them all. I've seen every thriller I can get my hands on, these crime thrillers and noir thrillers and things like that. I love thrillers, and particularly I love 90s thrillers. But that all aside, even taking my love for it aside, this is one of the best thrillers ever made, I think.
It's really good. I was captivated the entire time.
Yeah, it flies along. It doesn't. Yeah. There's no slog in the story at all. This movie flies. It is entertaining. It's pulpy enough, but it's not cheesy. hits all the right notes for this kind of movie.
It's also got great 90s technology.
Yes, computers. Yes. The computers.
The one that cracked me up is when she gets mail, and it makes the most obnoxious sound.
I didn't have a computer in 95. I don't know what they were like.
Pretty sure that one was just made up for this movie. But, and I love how the cops don't understand some of the lingo that she's putting down with it. She's like, I'm turning off my computer. This is an open network for him to just come right in. They're like, we'll lock the doors. And I was like, oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of 90s technology in here being used by the killer and by our lead, who is Sigourney Weaver is our lead in this one.
Well, see, is it Sigourney Weaver or is it Holly Hunter? Well, it is Holly Hunter. I mean, it is... Oh, shit. Actually, I don't know who this is. I think they share it.
Yeah, I mean, they. I'll get to the cover in 1 second, but they share top billing. Holly Hunter and Sigourney Weaver. But I think it's Sigourney Weaver's movie because she is the inciting incident. So I think she, our hero, I guess, is Holly Hunter, but our main focus, I think, is Sigourney. Both fantastic, though, in this movie. Like, no question that they're giving some career best performances in this.
They're both really good. Everyone's good in this.
And so I'll break down the cover for you, but then I'll sort of reveal for those who don't know who one of our killers is in this movie. So it says on the cover, Sigourney Weaver, Holly Hunter above the title. And then we get a face with sunglasses on, and in the reflection of the sunglasses, we see Sigourney Weaver, and Holly Hunter's got a gun pointed at it, and Sigourney Weaver's looking inquisitively. And our tagline for it is, one man is copying the most notorious killers in history, one at a time. Together, two women must stop him from killing again, or they're next. Copycat. And it has underneath the title, Dermot Mulroney, who is another cop in this movie, and our killer, one of our killers, like our featured killer, is Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, and he's grody in this.
Oh, man. This is also like the... music career and Friends era of Harry Connick Jr. And he is not doing that in this movie. He is the opposite. Like, for the kids today, for example, this would be if, like, Michael Bublé played a serial killer in a movie. That's what was happening here in 95. It was smooth singer, old-timey singer, playing a serial killer in a movie.
Well, and then the next year after this, Harry Connick Jr. plays an incredibly small role in Independence Day.
Right.
But in this one, he's playing a killer, and you can tell he is loving it.
I think that Harry Connick Jr. should have gotten a supporting actor nomination for this movie. Hands down.
I just don't know if he does enough, because it didn't. The role doesn't it doesn't call for it. But he is... really just, it's kind of hard to tell it's him.
He's so good. He's got the fake teeth in where it looks like he's got like a chip down the middle.
And his skin is gross.
He's got like crazy acne, like oily. He's
just weird.
He's so good.
If you bumped into him on the street, you'd be like, nope, not talking to you.
You'd be like, that guy's a serial killer. And so that's the face that's like highlighted in blue, I think, on this cover. I think they're going for Harry Connick's face with them looking in the...
I didn't know. Now that I look at it, I was like, is this the actual killer or the other killer? Because this says two killers. One in prison, one doing the killing.
Yeah, very similar, I guess, to Silence of the Lambs, but they do it completely different in this movie.
Because Harry Connick Jr.'s killer isn't the one they go to for... I mean, well, he does give some information, but he's not the genius.
Right, he's just involved. Like, he's just trying to get more fame out of it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, because didn't he write a...
he wrote a book on it. Yeah. And they had correspondence, him and the actual killer of this movie. Flipping it over to the back, if you don't know what this is about, based off of the trailer and what we've already been talking about, this is your rundown. Review at the top: cracklingly good, nail-bitingly tense, tautly directed. From the New York Times.
Yeah, wow.
They didn't need any other reviews on here. And we see our 3 stars. We see Sigourney Weaver, Harry Connick Jr., and Holly Hunter on the back here, and here is our little write-up. The best reviewed thriller of 1995 is Copycat, a sensational adrenaline pumper about the desperate hunt for a mass murderer with an elusive MO. He copies serial killers of the recent past. He's out there, but who is he? When, where, and how will he strike? An ambitious San Francisco homicide detective, Academy Award winner Holly Hunter, and a noted criminal psychologist, Sigourney Weaver, piece together a jigsaw puzzle of crime as they close in on a fiend with a knack for staying a step ahead and leaving a body behind. Jon Amiel Summersby directs the smartest and most gripping thriller since The Silence of the Lambs, Newsday. Dermot Mulroney, William McNamara, Harry Connick Jr., Will Patton, and other co-stars bring extra heat to the film's feverish race against time. For the ultimate suspense and excitement, choose Copycat. But remember, he's out there.
Yeah, I would rent the film.
That cover, that description, sold.
I'm like, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I just like, okay, let's put it in. And when I watched it, I don't even know how long this film is. Don't really care, but it was probably 2 hours, I'd say.
Yep, it is exactly. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. It's good. Came off a budget of $20 million, made 32 in the box office. Surprised it didn't make more.
Yeah, and this could be sort of the reason why this movie isn't talked about as much. It was pretty critically liked. We saw that Siskel and Ebert liked it. It had a 76 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is probably the highest score for a movie we've covered.
Yeah. Our movies haven't been particularly high on the Rotten Tomatoes score.
And this one is critically liked, but never really caught on, and never really considered to be like Silence of the Lambs or Seven or any of those other classic 90s serial killer movies. But I think this goes right up there with them for me.
I found this kind of fascinating. It came out right at October. Right at Halloween, the end of October. So that's interesting. And it came out at the same time as Get Shorty on its first weekend. Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, that's why that was number one.
We had Powder. Vampire in Brooklyn. No.
I'm actually surprised that movie made that much money.
Yeah. Copycat, Now and Then. Oh.
Which we talked about.
Yeah, wow. Seven. Oh, geez, you're fucked.
Yeah, Seven's still in theaters and Copycat comes out.
Yeah, there's right there. Your whole audience is going to that thriller.
I'm gonna make my bold statement now. I like this movie more than Seven, honestly.
I don't know if I go that far.
Seven has some dead moments for me. This one doesn't. This one fucking
What's in the
flies.
box?
This one flies by. And this one doesn't have Kevin Spacey, which is pretty cool now too. So
yeah, but Kevin Spacey's amazing in Seven. He's a more captivated killer because he like if Harry Connick Jr. was used more in this, we could have maybe compared them to, because I believe Harry Connick Jr. just looks like he's fucking nuts.
Well,
but he's only got 10 minutes of screen time. It's very short.
Very short. They're doing the Hannibal Lecter thing with him. But I never liked Kevin Spacey, and not because I knew he was a creep or anything like that. I didn't know anything about that. I just never liked him because I could always see the strings with him. I can always see him acting. It's always obvious to me that, Kevin Spacey's giving a performance. It was never like he disappeared in a role for me. It was like, oh, there's Kevin Spacey and he's acting. That's why I never liked him.
I mean, in The Usual Suspects, he's just fantastic. I gotta disagree with you on that one.
I love Benicio del Toro, and in Usual Suspects. So Kevin
There's
Spacey,
not really anything I can say bad about The Usual Suspects except their director.
I never liked Kevin Spacey, so that's probably why I prefer this movie too, because it's more my thing.
Yeah, I think it's funny though, but not many people would say that. I mean, before Kevin Spacey's shitty background came out, most people loved him.
I know. And I was always saying, I can see the strings with him, though. I know he's acting, It never felt natural to me. So now it turns out he's a creep, and I'm like, good, now nobody likes him, and I never have to see him again.
And you won't, except when I watch Baby Driver.
He's in a lot of movies I like, though.
Yeah,
There's no getting around that. And I do like Seven a lot. I'm not trying to say that I don't like Seven. I just prefer this one.
Oh, you know what? How to Make an American Quilt. Yep, that's what did it. That movie, definitely. Never seen that, but for some reason, I have seen How to Make an American Quilt, the VHS, a lot.
Really?
And I will continue not to buy it.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie. I actually didn't know that came out so recently, than 95. That seems like a movie that just always existed.
Yeah.
It just was, I was alive and it was around type thing. Like, it just always existed.
That's how it always felt with Little Women with me. I've seen Little Women, and it's a very good film. But I feel like when I found out it was made, like, somewhere, 92-ish? 90?
Around this, I thought it was
maybe
around
95?
the same time, yeah.
But
that
that movie feels like it's always been around because my mom watched it so much.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know anybody who saw How to Make an American Quilt. I just always saw that VHS. Maybe they just pumped out so many VHSs of that I just thought it always existed.
I don't know. I don't even know what it's about, except maybe making an American quilt.
It's just like a how-to video that's like 2 hours long, and they got it in theaters somehow. That'd be hilarious.
I'm sure it's about family.
Gross. This movie's about serial killers, and I like this movie.
And a very horny Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, she's looking to get laid. She likes Dermot Mulroney in this movie. Yeah, so let's jump in. There's no trailers on here, so let's just get right into the movie here. Yeah, I said that Sigourney Weaver is sort of our inciting incident. She's attacked by Harry Connick Jr. in the opening scene of the movie, which kicks off the story because now we know she is, like, she can't leave. What is that, agoraphobic? She can't leave the house.
Yeah. What did he say? So when they made that announcement, she's got agoraphobia, and did he say, like, what, now she doesn't like spiders?
Yeah.
And I was like, did you just do a John Goodman in arachnophobia reference joke there?
No, I think it was just the dumb cop thing they were doing here.
Well, I've heard agoraphobia. I didn't know quite what it was, though.
You can't leave. You're afraid to leave your house.
Yeah.
And, like, you, like, have panic attacks and stuff thinking about leaving.
And she really does. Like her friend, her gay friend.
Yes, it's a 90s movie. She has a gay friend.
Yes. And he's like, oh, just give her a bag. She breathes into it until she passes out. Then she wakes up and she's fine. He's so calm about it.
I actually did like the gay friend in this because unlike in a lot of 90s movies, he's not stereotypically gay. You don't really find out he's gay until you see that he has, like, a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. He's not, like, in 90s movies, they had to be Will and Grace, big gay, like...
Yeah, this is right before the Will and Grace. Well, yeah. I don't know, maybe Will...
It was around the same time, yeah. It was all around that same time of, like, Friends and Will and Grace and all those NBC sitcoms.
Every gay man has to be Jack.
Exactly, but in every movie... You would think that would be the case, but this movie didn't do that, so I appreciated that.
Extreme stereotypes, I guess they just sell well.
Yeah, and they did in the 90s because gay was...
huge?
It was like still kind of weirdly like taboo, but we liked it type thing. I don't know. We were weird about it in the 90s.
To me, because I lived in Missouri, I just remember they're like, oh, cities. They're full of those gays.
And I grew up in the city. We were like, gays, they're so fun. We love them.
And then when I got up to Chicago, I was just like, you just kind of mingle with a lot of different people. So it's like, yeah, they're there. But if they don't fucking go on a green light, I'm still going to honk my horn at you because I will hate you. Like, when you get into Chicago, you just put them all into a melting pot. And they're like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you fuck up in traffic, we hate you.
Yeah, right. There's no racism here. There's no sexism here, but there's trafficism here.
Yeah.
But there is racism and sexism here. It's
like, whoa.
There's just the big picture. We're a liberal city.
It was a good. It was nice for the joke.
But we're trafficist here, though.
Yeah.
We're like the reason we don't have traffic like LA because we're actually aggressive about it, and we actually need to get places.
Get off the road.
Yeah.
I've been yelled at so many times when I delivered pizza. I would stop for like 2 seconds to look at an address. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I love it. Chicago. We move our ass here.
You know who else is aggressive? Harry Connick Jr. trying to kill Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, and that's really the only scene we get with him for a while. Mm-hmm. And it's a great scene.
Yeah, because she's doing a speech at a college about white males from the age of, I don't know, was it 20 to 35? Are basically 90% of the serial killers out there. I assume she just means in U.S., maybe Canada. I don't know. She doesn't really like.
I think she says in the U.S.
Does she?
I think she says, yeah.
But, so you and I'm actually past the age now, but you...
I'm probably a serial killer,
yeah. But, yeah, it was fun, because she saw his character, Harry Connick Jr.'s character, in the crowd, and, of course, she didn't actually see him. But then she goes to the bathroom, and a great scene is he's pretending to be a woman because he's got high heels on, so a cop comes to look in the bathroom, looks underneath, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, ma'am." And then Sigourney Weaver does her 90s, putting the toilet paper on the toilet or the toilet seat. It cracked me up.
Before we had the rings.
Yeah.
Before we had the little...
at the airports.
Yeah. And Harry Connick Jr. kills the cop and strings her up. Like, this movie starts you off. Like, this is like 5 minutes into the movie.
Well, because I had not seen this, I was like, oh, is this one of these... Are they going to kill the main star immediately? Is this like a 1996 Drew Barrymore?
But no. Well, you get a fake out with Harry Connick Jr. because he's not the killer throughout the movie then now.
No. But he kills the cop, and then I guess this is how he gets caught and goes to jail?
Yep. He gets caught. Because then we slam to the credits, or the title treatment, where it says Copycat, and it stamps it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Love it. I love a good title treatment.
Those 90s, just kind of, they're slightly corny, but fun.
They're awesome. Yeah, they're so good. Also,
and this is WB, so of course, WB, I feel like, is the one who always did this.
They always had cool titles, yeah. They even had the ones that interacted with the logo sometimes.
Yeah.
It was fun. But we... Also, one thing that I didn't even mention yet that we get a lot in the opening scene and then in some of the more intense scenes. This score is incredible. You guys you don't even know it yet, but you've heard this score in probably every Thriller trailer you've ever seen. It's from this movie.
Yeah, I feel like
this movie is the Thriller score.
I feel like Warner Brothers has sold this off a lot or reused it.
Yes.
It's very intense.
Yeah, this is Christopher Young, who is one of my favorites, and he really nails it with the score here.
Yeah, it's good. Everything about this film, top dollar. I mean, it says budget's only $20 million, but this feels like a $50 million budget.
Yeah, this movie does feel huge. The scope of this movie is gigantic. Like, for a movie about that's sort of following a woman who can't leave her home, we see so much of the world around this,
Yeah. I wonder if this movie didn't do as well is because it's led by two women.
In the 90s? It's a tougher sell. It was a tougher
I just
sell.
thought about that because you're going up against Seven, which stars,
male-led.
Yeah, you got your Brad Pitts and your, who else is in that film?
Freeman?
Morgan Freeman and, creepy. Gross.
Yeah, Spacey. This is the female-led, I guess, version of it, and they're strong females in this.
They're very good.
They're quite good in the movie. Our killer turns out to actually be, and it's revealed in the movie, it's not a twist. I mean, we're going to spoil the movie for you anyway, but it's not a twist. It's revealed that the killer is actually William McNamara, who we made fun of relentlessly on the Surviving the Game episode.
Dad! You are the worst in Surviving the Game.
He's the worst. He's fantastic in this movie as the killer.
I'm very confused.
This is 1 year after Surviving the Game, too. 1 year later, he gave this amazing performance after giving the worst performance in Surviving the Game.
So we're going to say this. Ernest Dickerson just didn't know how to get the performance out of him.
Out of William McNamara. But he knew how to get a damn good performance out of Ice-T. So I'll...
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll let it slide this time, Dickerson. You're still one of my favorites.
What was the director here? Jon Amiel?
Yeah. Jon
Amiel. Yeah, so he knew how to tap into his talent.
Yeah, he really did. He's really good in this. We also, I mentioned at the beginning, Dermot Mulroney's in this movie. He's great. He's so likable as the charming cop who has a crush on Holly Hunter.
And he is a good-looking guy in this film.
Oh, he's a stud. Yeah, Dermot Mulroney's always been a good-looking guy.
I know, but
young him is hot.
Yeah, I was really impressed. And then what I also didn't get in this film is why is everyone trying to bang Holly Hunter? I know Holly Hunter's, got that kind of 90s attractiveness, but I'm just saying, like, as characters, do we have to have this?
We don't have to have this, but I was so, like, violently attracted to Holly Hunter in this movie. I was just like, ooh, you're hot. It's her, like, southern accent with, like, the cop attitude. She's hot in this movie. She is hot in this movie.
You just love those women in blazers.
I love a strong woman. And she is strong in this movie. And I'm like, I like it. I like it. It works for me.
Did you want her to arrest you?
I did. Yeah. But it is, I think it's kind of cute that, like, so you have Sigourney Weaver's just like, she doesn't leave her house and she just wants to get laid. And she wishes she can get laid from Dermot Mulroney because he's hot.
Yeah.
He's got a crush on Holly Hunter. But he hasn't acted on it. He's shy about it, which I think is a cute subplot. I think that works, and it makes him more human and likable and devastating when he dies. He dies. And what were you gonna?
No. I was
thought
just
you were
like,
about to say
spoilers.
Yeah, you're not watching this movie like a commentary, so it's all good.
No,
and then but then Will Patton, who is in this movie as well, used to date Holly Hunter as well.
Yeah.
And he's still kind of in love with her as well.
And Pat needs to take it down a notch because he's a little nuts.
He's high energy in this. I love Will Patton.
Yeah. Will Patton hates the way that Mulroney dresses, how he styles his hair, what he eats.
Because he's jealous of him.
He insults him on when he shows up to a crime scene, like everything, and they almost get into a fight.
Yeah.
And it's just, dude, it's just, back off, man.
Yeah, you lost your chance, man. You blew it with
and
Holly
I'm
Hunter.
starting to figure out why. You probably suffocated her.
Yeah, he's probably way too intense and crazy. But there's a great scene after Dermot Mulroney gets shot and dies when, like, he's having, like, the intimate moment with Holly Hunter where he's like, I wish it was me instead of him that got killed. And I thought that was a great human moment, too, for Will Patton. These characters are so good. Every character is three-dimensional.
Well,
doesn't matter how much screen time they have.
I can tell you that, that's easy because, like, Mulroney's character is shy. He is a new cop. He's kind of, like, he doesn't know the ins and outs of, like, they have a great scene at the beginning where he's shooting, and he just blows the target away, and Holly Hunter's like, you could just use two, like she shoots one time. She's like, oh, I shot him in the artery there. He'll let go of the gun and then I can bring him in. And I didn't have to take a life. And like how she's just so smart.
Yeah.
And he's young and eager, but also shy, anyway, yeah.
Well, it's three-dimensional. He's young and eager, but he's shy, but then also, like, yeah, he's still a good cop, but he's got a lot to learn. So it's very three-dimensional, and he's not the star of this movie, and, like, his character is fully drawn out, and so is Holly Hunter, so is Sigourney Weaver's. Like, everybody's so well-written in this movie.
And then we get the killer, who is... Man, he plays creepy well.
He's so good. He's chewing scenery. William McNamara is like, this is going to be my breakout performance. It wasn't, unfortunately, but he is
But he's a working actor.
He's a working character actor still to this day. So it's working out for him. But he is so good as the killer. He's so... It's like... When you see him in the scenes where he's not being a killer, where he's like trying to be charming or whatever, it's like still obvious that he's the killer, but he's so good at it. Like he's so good at being like killer charming.
He's got a very trusting face.
Yeah. He's good at being a Ted Bundy like killer, but they never reference Ted Bundy at all in this movie.
Yeah. Like if he walked up to you, he's non-threatening.
Right. But when he's on screen in this movie, you're like, he's the killer.
Yeah.
It's like he's too nice. He's too good looking, too nice. He's the killer.
Yep. And they immediately show it. I found that interesting. It's definitely not a whodunit. But the whole thing about this is really, it's how are they going to catch him? Because he's intelligent.
Yeah, and you're also you see,
and he also knows computers.
He knows computers, and he's copycatting these serial killers. But it's like, what order? Mm-hmm. Why? Like what is his end game? Why is he copying these specific killers? And it turns out it's the list she lists in the presentation she gives at the beginning. And he's literally everyone she says he's going after, so that his grand finale can be her.
Yeah.
So he gets famous because he read Harry Connick Jr.'s book, and he's like, I want to write a book and get famous.
It is funny that he's just in love with being popular.
Yeah. He's obsessed with being famous, which is like, it's so relevant today, but also like only you could have made this movie in 95 as well, you know, like it's still relevant today, but like this, you couldn't do this in a 70s thriller.
Yeah, no, probably not. Well, I don't think you could have, maybe you could have two women lead it in the late 70s, but
it was still, obviously it was still a tough sell in 95, so.
Yeah, it's a different day nowadays. Now a lot of movies are led by women are making money.
Which is the way it should be. Yeah, it's the way it should be.
And, with this film, if you really like serial killers' names, you're going to love this because it constantly tells you, like, oh, that's the Boston Strangler, or that's the whatever.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, it's just constantly name dropping.
Well, and they make it fun for the audience who is into this sort of thing where they're like, this, and this happened at the scene of the crime. Which serial killer is it? And like, if you're like a serial killer nerd, which I'm not, but like, you could be like, oh, that's the MO of Jeffrey Dahmer, That's the Boston Strangler that does that. So like, they make it fun. They make it like, they have fun with like the who it is and why and whatever. And
now that I think about it, it is quite obvious that Sigourney Weaver is here to drop exposition all the time. But I just realized that's what she was doing throughout the entire film.
Yeah, but don't care. It never feels forced.
But she's working with the detectives, telling them like, "Oh God, you guys are idiots, don't you know?" And they're just kind of like, "No,
this is the Boston Strangler who did this," and they're like, "Oh shit." But that's the way you do exposition. You know, that's the way you do it.
I feel like when you say drop exposition now, it's always like, oh God, the Michael Bay bullshit.
Because nowadays, dropping exposition is two characters sitting in a room telling you everything you just saw.
But this was such like kinetic. Like she's like telling them what it is, and they're going off and trying to find the killer, and the killer's killing while they're like one killer behind.
Right.
It was fun. They needed to catch up to this killer who is just a couple steps ahead of them each time.
Right. But wants to eventually get caught once he finishes his, so that's why he's leaving the breadcrumbs and why he's like stalking Sigourney Weaver. So
who is the woman that he was living with?
I think just a girlfriend, or maybe somebody he was seducing and then going to kill or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, is this like some girl he's with to live in the house? Like she couldn't leave her bed?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It's not really established, but I think my assumption is that it's somebody he's sort of entrapped.
And I also love, because she's like, ugh, you're just going to leave and go play on your computers.
Yep. And
like this movie's driving home.
And we haven't really talked about it yet, so let's talk about the computers. So one of the ways, Sigourney Weaver gets attached or detached from the world as she is focused on her computer, and the killer is then using that to taunt her, sending her messages and things over the computer, and it's pretty fun.
This dates this movie so hardcore, and
it does.
It kind of, maybe it's just you and I because we like 90s movies, but like this computer nostalgia is fantastic.
It's wonderful.
And all the flash animations that are in it.
I love the killer's little greeting cards or whatever, where he puts the skull face over like the dancing woman, which is in the trailer, and they do it one more time in the movie. I love his like little greeting cards. They're the best. They're the best. I wish they were my screensavers.
We could probably find them for you.
Yeah, we could probably very easily. Or make them probably at this point, because this is rudimentary technology at 95.
Another character I found kind of just weird in this was their captain, because his mustache is ridiculous.
He's not... In a lot of these movies, you usually just have like the captain who just like yells at them and is, trying to get them in line or whatever. This captain isn't as like intense in this one.
No, he's almost disinterested in like, he's watching the TV to see how the public persona of the police force is being looked at and how they're being reported on. And Holly Hunter comes in one time and he goes, shh, wait, I want to hear this. Like, are you interested? But it is funny too. towards the end of the film, he's actually giving like Holly Hunter a pep talk of like, you did what you thought's best, and your action was correct. You just didn't get the result you deserved.
Yeah.
And there was something about that speech where immediately I was like, I think this guy's actually a good guy. Like, he wants to be a good cop, but he's old and just tired of the bullshit.
Yeah. No, I like that you had like a captain who was on their side this time. I think with a lot of this behind the scenes of like, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are in like a police station and scenes between cops and stuff. I think this is definitely an effect of Silence of the Lambs. I don't think we would have seen as much of this if Silence of the Lambs wasn't such a big movie. And it's wonderful. I love all the cop scenes in this movie. Anytime there's an interaction with the cop. And the scene in which Dermot Mulroney dies is a scene that has nothing to do with the killer. You're in this police station. He gets shot by somebody they've taken in who is not the killer.
Yeah, and he was giving some dude donuts, and someone left their gun in a
Will
desk.
Patton left his gun. Like,
that's why he wishes it was him.
He was so devastated.
Some idiot left his gun in his desk unlocked.
Yep.
That's what he said. Yeah. So the guy takes out the gun, holds it to Mulroney's head, or whatever his... I don't even know the character's name. I forgot it.
Dermot Mulroney's? He's Reuben.
Reuben?
I
should remember that. The sandwich. No, I want a Reuben sandwich.
That sounds good. I'm getting hungry.
So he puts it to his head. Holly Hunter shoots him, and he falls to the ground. And you think the scene's over, like, wow, thank you, you saved my life.
And then shoots him in the back.
Yeah, man, it's a gory squib.
Yeah, he gets popped.
Yeah, it's a good. I love it. Oh, that's how you do it.
The squibs in William McNamara's death, when Sigourney Weaver takes him to the roof of the building and just shoots him, those are incredible squibs. And she shoots him in the head, and he, like, the back of his head just blows across the fucking scenery. It's great.
The 90s went nuts with their squibs. I feel like they had to... like the RoboCop. I feel like RoboCop changed squibs.
They did. They made them hit, you know? Like, you felt it, and, like, they really, like, showed the fragility of the body. Like... if this guy is going to get popped in the head at the end of the movie, his fucking skull is going to go flying, you know? Like, and I like that. Nowadays, when somebody gets shot, it's always that CGI squib, and it looks terrible every single time.
The worst ones are in these, you know, like straight to Netflix movies or the straight to DVD, whatever you call them.
I would argue that even some in Hollywood movies, like big release movies, they always look terrible. Don't do CGI squibs. They're terrible.
Especially the CGI blood is awful. I get it in some scenes. I don't mind it, like where there's a poof, you know, and they add a little bit more, because you never can tell that.
Yeah.
That's when you use it.
A mist of blood is okay, but when you're trying to recreate a squib, then you're just being lazy.
Was it... one of the Resident Evils did it, and it was awful.
Yeah, they got really CGI heavy in the back half of that series.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because the first movie is so gory and like great makeup effects in the first movie.
But the first one's like PG-13, and it makes no sense.
No, it's not.
Was that one of them was PG-13?
Not the Resident Evil movies, no.
Oh, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them at all. And a lot of them, like 2 through 5, well, maybe 3 through 5, just blend together.
Yeah, no, they start to blend together, and like they become CGI fest, which is unfortunate because I love the first movie in that series. But
anyway, the CG, all of them,
it always looks bad. It never looks good, and that's why I love. Another thing I love about this movie is the effects look amazing.
What always irritates me is I heard the reason a lot of them use squibs is because it's safer, and I'm like, really, a squib? Is that detrimental to the health of like?
We've been using squibs forever. You know, like since the dawn of movies, like and nobody's ever gotten killed from a squib. You know, like people get killed from misloaded guns and things like that, but a squib is just a pop. People get hurt. We don't want people to get hurt, and they do get hurt with them sometimes if you're not careful. But like, I don't know. I think it's worth the time to put in to make sure a squib is safe, because it's gonna look better on film.
Oh yeah, oh definitely, because the actor is actually reacting to something.
Right, they move, they like jolt with it, you know?
So, back to this film, we get the killer slowly killing a bunch of women, And I feel really bad because I just realized all these white males, they're just slaughtering women.
Yeah, that's what all these killers' MOs are. And then later we see, with the Jeffrey Dahmer and stuff, then he goes after men. But very early in the film, his first few killers he's copycatting are all white males that kill females.
So we get the killer finally goes to Sigourney Weaver's apartment, kills the cops. Man, he slits that one's throat, and that is straight up horror movie level throat slitting. That's
probably why I like this movie so much. It doesn't shy away from the horror stuff in this.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty. That made me like grunt a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good throat slit.
Then he gets in there. Holly Hunter comes. She gets shot.
Yeah,
but you have a fake death out with her.
Yeah, she's not actually dead.
And then who dies? There's a cop that dies in the bathroom because he's recreating the scene from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, well, he takes her to. He takes the throat slit cop and takes her to the auditorium where she was giving the speech, because he takes her from her apartment.
Yeah.
Takes her to the auditorium where she was giving the speech and strings her up in the bathroom like she was with Harry Connick, and now we've tied it all together, that he's trying to emulate Harry Connick Jr.'s killer. And he brings the cop with the throat slit. And
it just puts him in the corner?
Yeah, it has him on the ground. But then when Holly Hunter comes to save the day, he puts the cop uniform on and the fake blood.
That was a great move.
Yeah, and she thinks that because she doesn't know what he looks like.
No.
She thinks he's the dead cop. And then, that's when she gets shot, but she's fine.
Oh, yeah, she gets shot in the bathroom here, not in the apartment.
Yeah, she gets shot twice, I think, but she's fine. Maybe I think she's got a vest on.
She's got a vest on. She's also smart.
And she's the smartest. But before all this went down, of course, Sigourney Weaver had to have the video chat with Harry Connick Jr.
That's
which
right.
is the other scene he's in, where he's sort of saying like, yeah, this guy came to me, he's read my book or whatever, he's a fan, but I don't know who he is, like. And then he's like, I'll tell you more if you send me some of your panties.
That's so weird.
This Curtin guy, he's been writing me all these letters. I figured he owed me a couple of favors. So I sent a book with him to your house. I didn't think he'd break in, though. You gotta steer clear of that son of a gun. He's a freak. He told me he's gonna send me $500 for some of my spirit. He said that he could make me immortal if he had some of my spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of embarrassing. I don't really want to say it right out in front of a lady and all.
Well, I think I know what you're referring to, so what did you do about it?
I took some of that liquid soap, put it in one of them sandwich baggies with a message from Jesus, telling him to mend his ways.
How are you going to contact Curtin?
This buddy of mine got paroled a couple of days ago. I figured I'd just send a baggie with him. Curtin was going to hook up with him.
Where? Do you know when and where?
All depends, Doc.
Depends on what?
You see, it gets awful lonesome in here, Doc. I think about you all the time. A personal token would be nice. Let's see. Something feminine, something lacy, something frilly, something pretty. I got it. Send me some of your squirrel covers.
I beg your pardon?
I beg your pardon? Your panties. You wear them, don't you? That's what I want.
Jesus.
Look, I want them autographed to me personally. Daryll, Cullum. Deal?
That's a promise.
He calls them squirrel covers, which is just the grossest thing I think I may have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, there was a part of me where I stopped for a second, had to visually think about that, and I go, oh, okay, I don't know where you're coming from with that, but it's grody.
No, and he's got the fucking teeth in, and he's gross in the prison. Oh, it's so funny.
And doesn't he have on, like, a U.S. Navy cap? What is?
Yeah, he's got a hat on in this scene for some reason. I don't even know where it came from or why he has it on. He's so good. And he's just in this video chat scene that's like 5 minutes long, but he's great in this scene too.
He's having a good time.
Yeah. And now we are back to just had to cover that. But now, yeah, Sigourney Weaver is strung up, and the fight is taken then to the roof when she gets out, because she basically gets out by making the scene not look like the original scene. She knocks off her other shoe because she had one shoe off in the original scene with Harry Connick Jr. So she takes the other shoe off. She gets loose, and she's got to be strung up. So him being a copycat and not being able to do it, he freaks out. Fight gets taken to the roof, and she blows his fucking brains out.
Yeah, she really fucking kills him.
Yeah, she shoots him a few times with great squibs, and then shoots him in the head. But she has to overcome her agoraphobia and go outside to do it. And she does. She has a panic attack first, but she does. Yeah,
and then at the very end there was something. Wasn't there kind of like a...
Yeah, we see the communication between the book that Harry Connick Jr. gave the killer and everything. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
And it's like him sort of like looking at it, like...
Because there was Happy Hunting, something like that.
Yeah.
Happy Hunting partner.
Yeah, and it's like it's sort of revealed that Harry Connick Jr. did help out a little bit in this.
Yeah, but it's just a very weird help. I don't know. I liked it though. I liked all of this film. Everyone did such a good job. This movie is edited really well, and I'm always impressed when movies can take like office scenes between cops and make them kinetic and easy to watch.
And this movie does. I love all the cop scenes,
Yeah.
And I love the killer scenes. I love the cop scenes. I love any scene in just Sigourney Weaver's apartment. They have found a way to make everything interesting.
Yeah, it's a good job. This is a good movie. I suggest this to anyone who likes 90s movies, who likes thrillers, and who likes just serial killer type movies.
Absolutely, same. If you like horror movies, you'll like this one because it's a pretty hard-edged thriller. It's very R-rated. I would recommend this. I know the listeners are movie fans and stuff, but I would recommend this to normies too. I would tell just people who like movies, this is a good movie.
It's a good blast from the past movie, too.
Yeah, it definitely encapsulates 95 really nicely.
Yeah. Because when those computers are on, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It is a window to the 90s, but also just a really, really, really good movie.
So we should, let's go off to the museum.
This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you. That belongs in a museum. So do you.
So the museum, every week we take something that we like or don't like and put in our museum so we can either admire it or learn from it. What are you dropping in the museum this week?
Oh, man. Part of me wants to put in horny Sigourney Weaver because it kind of shows like an independent woman. Like she knows what she wants, even though she is damaged.
Yeah, she's damaged, but she doesn't have to be a caricature of a damaged person. She could still be human and want to have sex.
It really shocked me that they did it, because she's just like, I miss sex. And I was like, wait, what?
You can't have a lead of a movie say that.
What is going on? The Christian in me is freaking out. I was impressed that the... her gay friend wasn't Jack, a stereotype of that. Yeah. I didn't even know he was gay until I was like, wait, are they together?
Yeah, they don't make it like obnoxiously conservatively positive. They don't make it obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm just putting in strong 90s woman. That's kind of what that is.
Yeah, I mean,
she's not married. She wants sex just to have sex.
Yes.
She doesn't want a man. She doesn't want a relationship.
Romance.
She just wants to bang.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's such a guy thing to do in a film that, I'm sure Sigourney Weaver was like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. Finally, I get to do that.
And maybe that comes from the fact that this movie was written by a woman, which helps, I think.
Yeah.
But also just it's not like... we're doing the female Seven. It's just no, that's just natural. It's natural. This is what we're doing.
I never
here.
got that out of this. Yeah,
it's wonderful. Everything like that works. I think I totally agree with you. I've got so much stuff I want to put in the museums. It's really hard for me to decide. I think just connected to yours. I'll put Holly Hunter's character in the museum because she's so strong, she's so smart. She's really great in this movie. She also is very attractive to me in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
So everything works for me here for Holly Hunter's character.
Yeah, it's a good one. Mean, this one hits a lot of good notes.
Yeah, this one checks all the boxes in all the right ways.
Yeah.
I wholly recommend this movie as well.
And since we've got some extra time, let's talk other thrillers. And let's see what's Matt's favorite here. I went to the top 10s, and 90s best of 90s thrillers. Let's see how you agree here. Let me go all the way. Number 10, Copycat.
Wrong, because it's not number 1.
Number 9, Fight Club. Is that a thriller?
I guess so. It's more of a thriller than anything else, I guess. But I don't really like that movie all that much. I think it's overrated.
Number 8, The Crying Game. You think Fight Club's overrated?
Absolutely.
No. All right, number 8, The Crying Game.
I like stuff about The Crying Game.
Yeah, I guess it's never one where I
never top 10 it.
Yeah. I don't. 7, Fargo is awesome.
Yeah, Fargo's great.
Number 6, The Sixth Sense.
Also, I think is overrated.
I think the impact on that was huge. The problem is it's only great impact once.
Yeah, that's my problem with the movie. Once you've seen it, then you don't need to see it again.
Well, I think that's what's wrong with twist endings. Is while they're great the first time you watch it and it will get everyone talking about it, it's one time.
Well, I disagree because if you think about Scream, you know who the killers are, but you watch that movie over and over again. You can't rewatch Sixth Sense after you know the twist. That's just
I think a lot of people
it's so
do
predicated
rewatch.
on the twist. That's the problem with it.
I don't know. I think a lot of people have rewatched The Sixth Sense. I don't know the last time I've even seen it.
I've only seen it the one time, the first time I saw it. There's Scream.
Number 5, Scream.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
God, that's such a rewatchable movie.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's Skeet Ulrich.
It's great.
4, Reservoir Dogs. I
love Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Not my favorite Tarantino, but I love it.
I don't know if I'd call that.
I guess it's
got
more
thriller elements.
Yeah, it's not like a thriller like Copycat though.
Yeah, I don't know. 3, The Unusual Suspects. I love it.
I'm whatever with that movie. I could take or leave it.
Nah, that movie's great.
I like you have Benicio del Toro in it. That's about it.
Number 2, Silence of the Lambs. Of course, that's fantastic.
It's a classic.
Come on.
It's one that I don't like as much as some of my other 90s thrillers that I love, but I definitely respect it. It's the one that kicked in the door for all these procedural type movies.
To me, it's kind of like the Exorcist of horror movies. You know what I mean?
It's not my favorite, but you need it.
I'm I don't want to watch The Exorcist. I've seen it. I know all the notes. I get it. It's a great performance from the kid. And she's fucking gross. And she pukes up pea soup. 7, number 1.
Nah. Copycat's better.
No. But I do love how you're just no, I refuse. But here's some other ones I saw. Extreme Measures, never seen.
Me neither.
Basic Instinct, fine.
Classic. It's a classic.
Yeah. The Net.
I've never seen it. I'm not a Sandy B fan.
No, but that's such a 90s computer
I'm sure I would
movie.
love it. I'm sure I'd love it today. Ooh, I like Confidentials on this list. That's a good one. I like that movie.
Point of No Return. That's a really popular one. But it's kind of faded.
Yeah.
The Firm. Your boy, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I like the book. I don't like the movie.
Then we have U-Turn. I've never seen that.
Pelican
I've seen
Brief.
that cover, though.
Yeah, U-Turn was popular in 97. Pelican Brief is on here.
Pelican Brief. That's
Course.
Denzel. The 2 big ones, Denzel and
Julia
Roberts. Yeah. That one's overrated to me. I never want to rewatch that. And I remember that was so huge.
I would rewatch it because I've only ever seen that once, probably when it came out on video. So, I'm due for another watch.
Another computer movie. 90s computer.
Yep.
So much. Malice, don't know that. Body of Evidence. Ooh, Ransom. With Mel Gibson.
That's a tense thriller.
Yeah, I remember that being tense. Copland, Wild Things. No.
That's one of my favorites. I fucking love that movie.
It is a thriller, though.
That's the pulpiest movie on this list. That is just Pulp Central.
That movie was so just sold on a kiss.
Yeah, it's just straight camp, start to finish. It is just a campy movie.
All right, a few more. 12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
I don't know what Scissors is. They don't even have a fucking photo for it.
Poison Ivy. There's a good... That's my kind of thriller. Entrapment, from the same director, from Jon Amiel, as Copycat. Entrapment's a blast. It's not like... Nobody's going to make the argument it's a great movie, but man, it's fun.
Conspiracy Theory, which I know you haven't seen, right?
I've never seen that, no.
Yeah, that's an interesting Mel Gibson, Julia Roberts film. And then Double Jeopardy with Tommy Lee Jones.
I love Double Jeopardy. Of course I love Double Jeopardy. I love that movie. Yeah, and I mean, like around the same time, we had the Primal Fears. We're out, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Fear.
Fear
is a great 90s thriller. One of my favorite 90s thrillers. Pacific Heights. We had a bunch of different stuff out at the time.
Why is Misery on this list, and how is it only 42? If it's considered a thriller, it's got to be way up there.
Who knows who's voting on these things?
Stupid kids. The Craft. No, okay. Officially done with this. That was a good nostalgia trip, though, and I always forget how many thrillers Julia Roberts was in the 90s.
Yeah, she made a second. She went from romantic comedies to thrillers for a while.
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. So that's going to end it with our... oh, no, wait. We have one more. We have one more to watch.
Are we going to do that, or are we going to not do that?
We'll figure it out.
We'll have to decide what our final episode will be.
We have plenty of time, but that'll end it off. Again, tradition, talk about Horrorama.
Oh, yes. Make sure to come down to Chicago, or if you're in town, come to the Davis Theater April 26th through the 28th for 3 days of nonstop horror and fun at Windy City Horrorama Part 2. We will be there with movies, parties, Q&As, guests, vendors, everything you could possibly want. A one-stop shop for horror in the Davis, in the Carbon Arc attached to the Davis. It's going to be the best time. You're going to have the time of your life, I promise. Come on down, April 26th through the 28th, Windy City Horrorama, WindyCityHorrorama.com.
Nice. Man, you got through that one fast. You're getting good.
Oh, we just shot like 10 commercials yesterday, so now I just have it burned in my brain.
You're just walking down the street saying it to people.
Yes. Yeah,
by the way, if you want to see Horror City...
Anytime anybody brings up horror movies, like even at one of my day jobs, I'm just like, I do a fest. It's called Windy City Horror. I've got the pitch ready to go.
You're turning straight into a marketer.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You know, there's only a few of us working on this thing, so
spread the word.
Yeah, and that's what I need you guys to do too. If you're coming or you can't come or whatever, doesn't matter. Tell people about it. Mm-hmm. That helps. That's the biggest thing, honestly, word of mouth. It's still the best marketing, in my opinion, is hearing it from somebody else. So talk about it. Tell people. Be like, hey, go to this thing, because that helps us out, and it helps us keep doing it. So
yeah. I told people at work, and they kind of just stare at me, because I work with a bunch of developers, and they're like, wait, what?
We have to leave?
I have to get out of my chair and leave my computer? Nope. But this was fun, and... Next month is going to be a little bit lighter because Matt is swamped.
Yeah, I think... Are we taking off next month?
I think we'll do a couple movies. I've got a couple that I want to, but they're going to be light and fun.
All right, yeah. Then we'll be limited for maybe the next 2 months for me because I am in Horrorama mode until... Yeah. And it's bad. I'm drowning right now. I shouldn't even be here right now, but I'm here. We'll do a little here and there. But I'm gonna be light for the next couple months. So sorry, guys. I hope you don't miss me too much.
It happens. Just make sure Horrorama goes off without a hitch.
Yeah. Well, we're trying.
And remember to... Oh, wait. Yeah, I forgot. You can rate and review us, subscribe, iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, whatever you got out there. And remember to be kind.
And rewind.
Hey, do you guys like horror movies?
I do.
Do they always have to be good movies?
No way.
I prefer them to be crap, personally.
Well, then you guys are in luck, because Horror Movie Night is your expert podcast on both horror movies, good, bad, and gooey. It's just a show of three friends.
Two brothers and a friend, I think you would call it, but we're all friends here, you know.
We're friends, we're all friends here. We goof around, but we talk about movies, but we normally don't actually talk about movies, which is kind of weird. It's a weird dynamic. You have to really listen to understand it. But we put together a show every Friday morning. You can find our show hmnpodcast.com. We're part of the Geekscape Network. We're good guys. Just check us out. We're good, silly guys. We're fun.
Please like me.
Please.
That's pretty much the impetus of everything we do, is to be accepted.
We want to be loved. hmnpodcast.com.